you know what's crazy?
What's crazy?
We're done with Origins.
We're done.
We're done with Origins to the point where you can just uninstall it.
And I will.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can carry my save data over, and then bet your ass I'm gonna delete it.
Yeah. So we may not be. I don't know if we're able to. I haven't really checked into this. I'm gonna look into it a little bit. EA's servers are down, but I mean, I have to imagine
down because
they're gonna.
EA is bad, or are they down because of Veilgaurd?
I don't know. I don't know. I wish I did. I don't know. So the keep imports don't look like they're working. Right now, I don't know. I have to look it up. I should have looked it up.
Imports aren't working, like from Dragon Age Keep.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Oh, that sucks. That's really bad for people who are catching up.
I know, but I feel like, well, you could still use Dragon Age Keep, but then importing it looks like it's down because the EA servers are down. But I could be mistaken. My assumption is that they're going to come up with something before, if they have some sort of plan before Veilgaurd. They're not letting people, they're not going to leave us out to dry like that.
No,
I just don't know what it is.
It's interesting that it is. It's interesting that it is currently down, considering that right now everyone is playing Dragon Age to prepare themselves for the new one. So it's weird that it wasn't just like a day turnaround and it's actually taking ages. That seems like a misstep. But it is EA who love missteps. They love a misstep.
I think it's not even a miss. I think it's just an
on-purpose
bad step. So I don't know what's exactly going on with that. I'm hoping that there's a solution very soon. But I'm so ready for Dragon Age 2. I'm so thrilled about it.
For it.
I'm so horny for it.
I'm super stoked. I'm excited for this game to be like a crazy disappointment. We hate the series afterwards.
You really might. It's really, I mean, this is the most divisive game in the trilogy for sure.
I know, and I love that. What are your feelings on it? Do you like it?
I love it.
Awesome.
I think that my favorite, if I were to try to like rank my favorite games in the trilogy, it would be really hard because I have a different reason why each one is my favorite. Dragon Age 2 is my favorite because the entire thing is character exposition. It's just a group of 10 shitty people in a shitty city talking to each other for 6 years.
I love that.
It's great. Honestly, it's awesome to me. There's just nothing but character development that whole time.
Yeah.
And because it's such a small game, it's fully voice acted, and like you still get like a fully voice acted option for like every single conversation, and every single conversation gets like a full cutscene. Like, because it's such a small game, of course they drew like two battle maps and used them for every battle in the entire game. But like, I know that that's like the biggest complaint of the game is that the battles, like the maps, the dungeons are all really repetitive.
Yeah.
And I could not give a fuck about that. Not even a little bit. That's not what I'm playing this game for.
Know what you're here for.
I'm playing it because I want to talk to the weird little guys that are following me around and ruining this city. So I'm really excited about that. I love Inquisition also, despite its flaws and it's like maybe too open world, but I love it still, and it's a very like comfort game. It's like, what if the story in Skyrim was a good story? That's what Dragon Age Inquisition is. So it's like, I get like the open world, like kind of sprawling feeling of Skyrim, but with like a story that's good and I care about it. And then
that's what I'm
Origins
interested for.
Yeah.
Origins is
just like
it's so good. I'm genuinely shocked at how good I think Origins is.
Yeah.
But you know what also really is crazy?
What?
Oh, I have a few bones to pick with you, but these bones we'll be picking these bones out as we eat the meal of today's episode. Okay.
Okay.
Bone number 1, though, found it in my teeth, almost choked on it. We were like, hey, let's play. You're so worried. It's so funny. You're like, hey, let's do the Dragon Age Origins DLC, Awakening. And I was like, yeah, hell yeah, let's do that. Sounds awesome. Every Dragon Age DLC is like 2 to 3 hours. Love that.
Yeah. Yep.
Saturday,
Yep.
We're recording on Tuesday. I was like, yeah, I'll open it for the first time. I did the opening, and I was like, nice. That was satisfying. And they were like, Warden, we need you for more things. And I was like, I'm sorry. I thought I was done here. Can I not go home? And then I Googled how long to beat, and it said 20 hours. And I was like, fucking hell. This is not a DLC. This is a game. This is Dragon Age 2. This is Dragon Age 2 right now. It's like
this is Dragon Age Awakening. It's an expansion.
It's huge. It's before, I think the most game we had to play.
Deep Roads. Orzammar.
Hello, beautiful, wonderful people. My name is Robin. I have played one Dragon Age game.
Hi, my name is Dillin, and I played every Dragon Age game a million times.
So the thing before we needed to do it, because we have our cold open, but today we didn't have a cold open. We just started talking about Dragon Age immediately, so we had to kind of jump in. Anyway, you're right. The Deep Roads was the most amount of game that we had to do in a week. That we have quadrupled that for Awakening. It is fucking massive and utterly outstanding. Toe to tip, it's so badly the best that Origins is to me.
I'm so excited that you feel that way.
Do you not like it?
So here's the thing. So tell me. So
I know you didn't like it. We talked about it.
No, because so here's the thing. I haven't played it in a while. I played it with my first 2 or 3 wardens back when I first got into Dragon Age. And then I've said this before, Dragon Age has become just a comfort game to me, where I just I go through the motions. I play through these games like they're nothing, and I don't touch the DLCs every single time I play. Mm-hmm. So it's been a while since I played Awakening. There is some stuff that I think is really cool in it and really awesome. Here's my thing. I do not regret Valeria dying at the end of Origins. Mm-hmm. If I got to play Valeria in this, I think it would have been a great experience.
Yes.
But 2 issues. One, I'm not playing as my Grey Warden. I'm playing with some guy who, truth be told, does not get characterized well enough throughout this series.
You're right.
You're like a guy from Orlais.
Do you pick the guy?
You get to make your guy. You make your new
Did you
dude.
make him a little story?
I did. I made him. So my thought. So he's from Orlais, born and raised in Orlais, and Orlais didn't really get hit with the blight. Ferelden got hit with the blight, and we stopped it before it took over the world. Mm-hmm. So I kind of decided to make this guy a little bit of a dismissive dick. For fun, I was meeting the other wardens and stuff.
It can't have been that bad. It was stopped in
literally
a year,
didn't happen,
and we weren't needed. So clearly, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I spent the entire time at Weishaupt what are you even talking about? What blight? And so I kind of made him a little out of touch, a little dick. That was fun. But I didn't, I had just spent all this time and energy on this person, and then now with this new guy that I'm just like,
You know what? That's so interesting, and you are 100% correct.
Yeah. And then on top of that, Dragon Age Origins, and I get this is a little bit complicated technologically wise for the time period. In order to import your world state into Awakening, you have to import your character. If your character has died, however, you can't import your world state. So a lot of my world state was also different.
Wild. That's crazy.
So like none of the choices that I made in Origins carried over. And so it really was just like it was like a chopped off arm. It had nothing to do with Dragon Age Origins. It was like a completely separate experience. And you can break the laws of the universe. I did learn, and I almost did it, but I'm glad. I'm also glad I didn't, because it's so much of a cop out. But what you can do, you can override that and import your character anyway, and just hand wave the fact that your character died and let them play through Awakening, even though it's not real. And then you'll get your world state and your world decisions,
but the last choice.
But the fact that, yeah. So, but I didn't do that. I played with my new guy. I named him, I made an elven warrior, and I named him, God, I don't even care about him at all. I think I named him like Drizzle or something like that.
Drizzle.
I don't even.
Nice.
something silly.
Yeah.
And I made him a little bit of a dick. I made him a little bit like what blight.
Yeah.
So but it is like, I mean, I think it's all right. So correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't played with like my warden in ages and ages.
In a while, yeah.
So is it the same that when you show up, you're the new warden commander?
You are the warden commander, yeah.
That's cool as fuck.
It's very, very cool. Genuinely. So this is. I just want to bounce on your point a little bit. That is something that I didn't think about the whole time, because I was lucky enough to not have that situation be the situation. And because before this, probably maybe a little after, I think I would sooner return to Awakening than I would to Origins itself.
Sure.
It's shorter. I think that you're hit with more choices more frequently. There are so many companions. A crazy amount. I think I met 5 of them, and then I looked, but there were so many spaces blank, so I looked at characters, and there's tons of them.
There's a bunch. There's a bunch of like optional stuff in this game,
and there's lots of things that like feel like they're going to lead to something. I think the questions that this expansion asks are questions that I've been asking on this show, like constantly, and they're like, they're almost consistently like they're consistently answering questions and then asking new ones, and then having a lot of the companions be very interesting. I met a lot of old friends. No, I didn't. I did. No, I did. I met 2 companions. I know Alistair is around, but I couldn't find him for the life of me, so I was a little worried about
That's very lucky for you. Alistair showed up and was like, "Hey, I'm King Alistair." So okay. Yeah, I know. I hate it. So you show up to outside the walls of Vigil's Keep.
Vigil's Keep, yes.
And you're being escorted there by someone,
a lovely lady,
Mayuri, who is a prospective warden. She hasn't done the joining yet, but she's guiding you there. And one of my favorite things, which I'm assuming is one of the many questions that you had answered by this, is you right off the bat are getting attacked by Dorkspawn, who have taken over this keep. And in Origins, they don't do a great job at defining this, because, and here's the thing, I think like Origins was supposed to be a standalone game, right?
Yeah.
Awakening comes out and is acting as like a bridge to prepare us for the fact that this is going to be a series with bigger, deeper lore. So all through Origins, we see Dorkspawn act intelligently. Like, they do things so purposefully. They have leadership. They have organization. They do like ritualistic sacrifice and like leave warnings and all this kind of stuff.
And have some form of like religious,
Yeah. But that's never explained. And if you don't play Awakening, super weird, because in every subsequent game, they do not, when you encounter Darkspawn, they do not, they're just
immediately turn on you.
There's no leadership. They're just monsters. They're just mindless monsters.
Oh, interesting.
So Awakening answers this kind of question in like this first interaction when you're fighting your way into Vigil's Keep, which is overrun by Darkspawn. Is that they are intelligent when a blight is active only. And it's the archdemon that like awakens that intelligence and stuff in them. And then is like, so the blight's over. Why are Darkspawn
still
acting this way? What's happening? And so then you go through Vigil's Keep trying to like take out, and I like the Vigil's Keep map a lot. I think that's really fun.
I think it's neat. I do like it.
There's an interesting, how'd you do? Because your kind of goal in breaking into Vigil's Keep is not just to like break in and take people out, but also to keep as many of the Grey Wardens alive as you run into.
I think I saved as many people as I could. I don't think anyone died.
I lost one person. I was pretty.
I may have. That. I didn't notice if I did though. A thing which I noticed immediately, because I pretty like instantly leveled up as soon as I stepped in. Is that they've added so much shit to the back end to this 20-hour expansion. They've added 2 new subclasses to every class. And they've added 3 new skills that you can have. They are vitality, clarity, I think, and then runesmithing.
And 2 new tiers of armor class.
And also, not only that, every base class has 4 class-based skills. That is just like, it's like the mage had 4 new skills underneath, because it's normally you have like 3 rows of 4, but now they've added a 4th one, so there's 4 rows of 4 that you can get. And that was crazy to me. That was my first clue in as to being like, oh, this isn't going to be a 2-hour DLC. This is like a whole fucking thing, because they've given me subclasses and they're saying you haven't unlocked this yet, and it's like, but I mean, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be in and out, mate. What are you talking about?
You can get to level 30 in this DLC.
I think I did, because I got an achievement for level.
So
I think I did. I think I did, because I ended Origins at 21, and you level up and you get money like crazy in this
game. In this game.
I was leveling up twice every mission.
They want you to use all these new goodies in this DLC so aggressively. They drop stuff like mad.
You also realize very quickly at the end of Origins, you were insta-killing everything you were every Darkspawn you were coming across, you were insta-killing except for elites. That has changed. You're fighting average guys who are like taking like 3 or 4 hits, not a lot, but they're taking more hits than they were previously, and
you're not one-shotting everybody anymore.
Unfortunately, you meet the world's most awful man.
I know, he's like the first person besides Myri that you meet, I think. So you meet him, and you're like, why the fuck are you here? And he's like, I thought I'd be a Grey Warden. And it's like, I don't want you to be a Grey Warden. Get the fuck out of my face. So I also find that so funny, because the way that you like come across him, it feels like the game developers were writing this as though like
you'd cheer, you'd see him,
like
you'd be
like
super stoked.
On a sitcom when like a real famous person like makes a bit role appearance and like and like they like pause for applause. It's like that's the energy that like introduction had, and I was just like, no,
you're not my guy.
Of all people, fuck you.
And after you do this, jumping ahead just like a tiny bit, I'm going to come back.
Please.
You have a joining ritual.
Yes.
You can also get every single companion to join the Grey Wardens.
Yeah.
Which I think is so fun. And as he was drinking, I was like, oh my God, die. That
would be so good.
It would be so funny. Miri dies. I loved Miri.
Miri dies. I know.
Great. And then she dies in the joining, and I'm genuinely disappointed. I thought she was really cool and had interesting things to say. And she was a tank, so I didn't need Orgrin. You also meet, I put this in all caps, I was so fucking excited. I also think this is before Orgrin. So.
Oh, is it?
You walk into a side room, and there is a mage who is killing Darkspawn and has also clearly killed Templars. And I was like, oh, there's a guy who recognizes me from the Circle, because he's like, you're from the Circle, right? And I was like, yeah. He's like, oh yeah, and you're the Warden Commander.
Oh,
I was like, yeah.
He recognizes
and we talked,
you,
and it's fucking Anders, which I'm so fucking excited about. So Anders, for people who don't know anything, is in 2 as like. As a major companion. He's so important.
He's very important.
He's so beloved that I knew about him. I saw, and I don't know, I know fuck all about the guy, but I was like, oh my God, it's Anders. Yeah. I know you.
I know.
You've been talked about a bunch.
Yeah. And the introduction, you're right. You do meet him first, and his introduction is really cool because he's like fighting Darkspawn, but there are also like 3 or 4 Templars dead at his feet, and he's like, the Darkspawn killed all of them.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, and he's an apostate. So like he's obviously being hunted by the Templars,
which is brought up later when you save the keep. You meet the Queen again. Oh, I imagine you met
King Alistair. I met
Anora. Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, this guy's a villain. We should like, take him back to, put him in the tower and all this, because he's an apostate and a villain and is being hunted by Templars for years." And I was like, "He's fine. Leave him alone.
He's fine. Give it up."
You do have the chance to write a conscription him, and I was like, no, because he made he makes a comment about the fact that he wouldn't want to do that, and I was like, me and you, mage babe, we're like mage buddies, and I know it wouldn't come up. I want him so bad in 2, just an offline of being like, oh, I met the Warden Commander. He's great.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a blood mage, and he's like a hyper powerful mage. He saved me, and then told the Templars to get fucked. I really like that guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, Orgrin's there.
Yeah.
He immediately starts hitting on the woman.
Immediately.
Instantly. I cannot stand this guy. I'm
can't
so
stop
sick
being
of him.
The fucking worst. I know.
I hate him. And then you climb to the top of the keep. You meet the general who's fighting, and this Darkspawn is fucking talking. He's talking.
Yes.
He's taking prisoners.
Darkspawn.
He's like doing shit. That you haven't seen Darkspawn do. And I was like, oh my fucking God, I'm talking to a Darkspawn. This is crazy. These guys like have intelligence and they have plans and stuff that they're doing, and super fucking interesting. That's point number 1. I love the Darkspawn in this. I think the Darkspawn are so fucking interesting. This story, I know that you had a poor time during this, so I don't want my words to come off as inflammatory. This story, the story of Awakening, I personally prefer to the story of Origins.
No, I get it.
I really love Origins, but this is so interesting, and it's only interesting because Origins existed. On its own, it's not grand, but as part of the world, it's really fascinating to me.
Yeah, because it adds and it amplifies and like escalates everything.
Yeah, as soon as you hear one talking, I was like, oh fuck, this is crazy.
That's a huge deal.
It's massive. We've just spent 60 hours in Ferelden, and no one has. And I literally got an achievement for killing 1,000 Darkspawn. And then you meet one, and they're just talking, and they have thoughts, and I'm like, oh fuck, this is crazy.
Yeah,
it's great. I love it. You kill him. In an act, I thought that he was going to be the big final boss of this whole thing, because I'm like, yeah, he's talking. That's a huge deal. Clearly, this is like the boss commander of all of the Darkspawn. And then he dies randomly. You just kill him easy. And then you speak to Anora. And then she's like, this stuff is fucked, dude. Everything is bad. And then I accepted Orgrin into the Grey Wardens. I accepted... Miri, God bless her, and I let Anders go. I said that no, he's the only reason that the Warden Commander lives. He's fine. And then he was like, "Thank you," and then left and then walked away.
Oh, I conscripted them all.
Yeah, so this is a kind of. I feel bad about talking about this now. This whole
you gotta
had
give
a
me
lot
your...
of Quentin stuff, like story wise, where Quentin is in love with the Grey Wardens.
Yeah,
like thinks that they are the coolest people ever. However, he didn't want to be a Grey Warden at the time. He didn't want to be that. He didn't want to join. He understands that freedom is like he's happy to be part of the Grey Wardens because he saved the world, but also that freedom that being a Grey Warden gives, which you can't get otherwise. And he's also like, you start having huge nightmares. You're dead in 30 years, like all this stuff, which is just bad. So I was like, hey pal, the Templars suck. I hope that me telling them to just leave you alone is good enough. Because I don't want you to have to join us, considering that you don't want to. And I think it's important that he has a choice in that matter.
Ooh, that's so interesting. Yeah.
So I let him live, laugh, love. I let him go, which is a bit of a shame because I really, really liked him, but I didn't want to force. And I thought, oh my god, how interesting would it be to have him be a Grey Warden in 2? That sounds awesome. But I also didn't want to force him into that. Then starts the actual game. The Keeper's fucked because pretty much everyone died.
Yeah.
You have to figure out what's going on in this other place. You being now the Warden Commander, which I was a little iffy on. I didn't want to be the Warden Commander. I wanted Quentin to just
be a warden.
Just be a warden and then just kind of bounce. And I wanted Alistair to be the Warden Commander, but I guess I'm the Warden Commander, which is fine. I wanted to, because it was like, oh, what are you going to do now? And I was like, well, I'm going to go find Morrigan. That's my whole thing. And then it's like 2 days later, he's the Warden Commander and doing Warden Commander stuff.
6 months later. This takes place 6 months after the events.
After the main game.
Yeah.
So I was like, I kind of wanted. I like obviously I'm the Warden Commander because I'm playing myself in the game. So they're not. They need a reason for me to be walking here.
Yeah.
So that was a little sad. I don't know what happened to Zevran, because Zevran's not there. I don't know what happened to Sten, both of whom I said I would join them after the game. So I was kind of hoping that choice would carry round. And it's like, if you said yes to Zevran, like Zevran joining you, he's there. He's in the first bit with you, like hanging out. Even if he's like, well, I don't want to be a Grey Warden, but you can be a Grey Warden if you want. And I'll just follow you and we can hang out. So that was a bit of a shame.
Yeah. My assumption to those things is that, like, you have been with them for these last 6 months, but that like an emergency has happened in the wardens, and you being like one of the few high-ranking wardens left alive because of the Battle of Ostagar, etc., like you have to go. So like I can kind of hand wave some of that.
It was sad, but I wasn't like, oh, this has broken my enjoyment of this whole zone. Yeah. However, you are now in charge of a whole keep. You got to make sure everyone's living, fed. All of Amarantine, the Earldom of Adamantine is like, you're in charge of. You
have to fix it up too.
Half a country. Yeah. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
You have a treasurer who you're now in charge of. Someone called Christoph, who's a warden, has gone somewhere, and you have to go find them. You have to now deal with lords and like the noble houses of the people and all this shit that I thought was an interesting thing that I didn't expect Quentin to ever have to do, but I thought was kind of fun. There are some minor things which I wish were brought up. Like, my one wish for Queen Honora was, hey, I want the circle to be disbanded and have it be free of Templars. And then one of the first things that happens is Anders is there, and the Templars are like, yes, we're going to bring him to the circle and put him in prison. And I'm like, Honora, I just asked you to banish this. Did you not do that? And then there's also more talk of like other circles and stuff, and I'm like, come on, lads. I asked you to do one thing, babe. I saved your whole world. I made you queen. You can't do this one thing for me? Are you kidding? So it was a little like, ugh, but I also kind of knew that it wouldn't happen because I know other games.
Yeah.
The armorers from Denerim are back. The people who make the dragon scale armor. The gaze.
The gaze. The gaze are back.
I specifically have the dragon scale gaze are back is what I have written. You need to find ore for them because they're going to try to smith weapons and armor for all of the soldiers and the wardens at the keep. Mm-hmm. You meet a dwarf who is trying to rebuild the walls, and he's like, hey, this sucks. Yeah. This is human built shit. This like literally crumbling when I touch it. Can you give me 80 sovereigns, which is 80 gold, and then can you find me some good high quality stone?
That was fun.
That was fun. I really liked it.
Yeah.
There's a passage to the deep roads that someone has found underneath an inn in the keep, and they're like, can you fucking go sort this? Because you have to find like a single point that you can collapse in, because Darkspawn are just going to come back through it. So I was like, hell yeah, I can do that little dungeon. There's another dwarf who wants to build bombs. And it's like, can you get me things for bombs? And I was like, yeah, I can do that. That sounds fun. And that was really cool. There is also a man in the dungeon called Nathaniel Howell.
Howell, yeah.
Howell, yeah. Who is the son of Arl Howell from
Arl Howell,
Arl Howell from Origins, which was super fun. He snuck in to steal stuff. He originally snuck in to try to kill me specifically. I don't know how it is with you. He sneaks in to try to kill me because I killed his dad. And then I was like, how about instead I conscript you into the Grey Wardens? And then you fight for me. And he's like, I mean, are you... and then he says, like, are you sure you want someone who tried to kill you be on your team? And I was like, it's not the first time, so you might as well. And he was like, okay, I don't know if I should be worried by that sentence. And I was like,
God, none of that. No, 0% of that.
That you
happened.
know what?
Yeah,
that's genuinely pretty upsetting. That sucks.
Yeah.
It's also really weird that none of that is in it. I mean, no. It's upsetting because, to me, the Grey Warden dying in Origins is like the straight down the middle. Like, that is what happens most of the time.
It's what should or feels. It feels like the default story, but it is not the default story.
No,
somehow.
Is the default story Morrigan having the baby?
What is the default? I think the default story. No, because the default story is that the warden dies. I think Morgan's thing is like a
rarity.
Well, all right. Dragon Age leadership is always telling us that there is no such thing as a default story.
But there is.
But Yeah.
Yeah. If you start, like, unless it randomizes every world state whenever you start a new game of Inquisition, like, there is a canon ending.
There's a canon. And I do think it's that the warden died. But yeah, it does, it feels like it is, and then, like, Awakening doesn't really, like, give you much.
Yeah, that's actually crazy. That's really upsetting. Because most of me having a great time during this is...
I know.
All of my consequences coming back.
I know.
So this is crazy. This is the first time that this is going to happen. Like, because this is going to happen in other games. The more different paths diverge.
We had an entirely different, not just like one different moment. We had an entirely different game experience.
Whole thing. Wow, that sucks. Yeah, I mean, I got Nathaniel. He was my favorite. He was one of my favorite companions in it. Again, I think the companions in this expansion are...
They're very good.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I ended the game... I ended Awakening with Sigrun, who I love Sigrun.
Love Sigrun. I love Sigrun. I really like the Legion of the Dead, too. Like, it's one of my favorite, like, bits from Origins. So I love that, like, that came back and, like, having... a Legion of the Dead character.
Man, I am getting upset, actually.
I know, because of how cool it would have been if Valeria...
Dwarves are so important in the whole thing.
I know. Yeah. If Valeria got to redeem a member of the Legion of the Dead in, like, the...
Oh, my God.
I know. That would have been so great.
That would have been so fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
Valeria just, like... finding and liberating that lost dwarven city, which at the end, during my like clip show at the end, it was like, then Ozamar like reintegrated it into the thing, and then it's like, you telling me that Valeria could have fully
had that experience,
like founded a new city, like or re-liberated a new city, and then added that to Ozamar. The Paragon. She's the Paragon, and it's
Paragon like Valeria could have done this. Yeah. Oh, crazy.
Man, that sucks.
I know, it does.
And the deep roads are so consistent. Dwarves make a really big appearance in this.
They do.
They're very, very big.
Well, there's another big part of this is that in your travels, as you're kind of collecting these people, did you recruit Valana?
The Elven Mage?
Yeah.
Love her. She's another one. She's another one of the people that I was like, she's brilliant.
Yeah. So basically, like you go out into these different areas. You do these like these like sections of the main quest, and then each time you come back to Vigil's Keep, and you have the opportunity to to add these people that you find out there into your party, into the keep.
And they're not as fleshed out as the companions because you can't talk to them freely.
Yeah, you can't talk to them like you do at camp.
But they have short, instead of having like big fleshed out character moments, instead they have like a log line, essentially like one line interesting character beat. You've got like the elven, like the Dalish elven mage who Darkspawn tricked into thinking humans killed her people and then took her sister when it wasn't. It was of course the Darkspawn did it. And so she goes on a fucking rampage, is killing tons and tons of humans.
Yep.
And then you reason with her like, this was the Darkspawn who did it, and then she's like, cool, I'm gonna go postal. I'm gonna need to come with you because I'm gonna
because if not, she's awesome.
She's great. Whom I genuinely consider, I think, to be my favorite companion in all of Dragon Age so far is
Justice.
Love Justice.
Justice.
Absolutely amazing character. So fucking cool.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say that. Okay, great.
Is a spirit of literal justice who is in are they called the
animating
Brightlands?
The spirit of a Grey Warden, similarly to the way that Wynn was being like, not the same, but Wynn was being kept alive artificially by a spirit.
Yeah,
this
but
Justice
Justice
has
is Kristoff, who was the Grey Warden from previous. Yeah. No, you keep going. Sorry, I didn't want to.
Not at all. And but Justice has taken over this Grey Warden and is like, it is
He's like
himself,
never been to the human world before. Like, not the human world. What is this plane called? Is it called anything? Because there's the Fade.
Oh
then,
no, like to like the like the
or whatever.
Yeah.
Like Thedas, I guess.
Thedas, yeah.
Thedas is
never
the whole
been
world, right?
to like the walking world, yeah.
Yeah. And is having like, I had a whole conversation with him because he pulled me aside, and he was like, all of the like demons and a lot of spirits want to come here. And then he says something like that sounds disparaging, like, and it's like, and they don't, but they want to come here for whatever reason. They don't realize like all the noise and all this other shit. And then you're like, oh, thanks. And he's like, no. Everything I've experienced is worth saving. Every single thing that I've seen, every person, every like blade of grass, I never realized how much this place is worth saving before. And I was like, man, that's fucking awesome, dude. And then you meet Kristoff's wife, who sees Kristoff's body being piloted by a ghost and is like, oh my god, I thought you died. I can't believe you're alive. And then Justice has to be like, I'm not him. I'm a random spirit. I'm just inhabiting his body. And then she freaks the fuck out and is like, oh, you're a complete abomination, blah, 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 runs away. And then Justice is like, I felt so many human emotions. Like, I can still think as Kristoff. Like, I'm having memories, and I felt strongly toward her. Like, and it's like all this stuff. And I'm like, how are you not in the main game, dude? You're so good. Like, every character beat that he does is awesome, and I love it so much.
It's great.
Love Justice. As soon as I picked him up, he was with me until the end. I refused to let him out of my sight. I just think he was the fucking best. I really like Nathaniel. He comes around 100% by the end. He meets his sister, who gets married to someone else, and he's like, oh, you don't need to do this anymore. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, oh, you can leave with me, like, go back to home. And she's like, no, our dad was an evil man, and you've been away for a really long time. And then they have dinner, and then he comes back to you and he's like, hey, I'm sorry for everything. I didn't realize how far it got, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I love you. Nathaniel was also someone who joined my party, and he was every single time I had to do something, he was there.
Yeah.
Sigrun is awesome. Again, Legion of the Dead. And then she's like, I'm going to fucking die anyway, so I might as well, let's go liberate this dwarven city from all the Darkspawn. And that was a great storyline. Again, the lady, what was her name? Valana,
yeah.
The Elf Witch was also fucking awesome. But and then Orgrin, of course, who I had and I hate. And I wished he died as soon as I could get rid of him. I did. I actually went on a mission with a party of just 2 other people rather than 3 because I just didn't want him around me.
Yeah.
So I left without him. And I'm missing so many people because there's a crazy amount of companions.
Did you find Wynn?
I did find Wynn, very excited. It's so funny that she was like, I don't have time for you right now. But it's nice to see you. And I was like, Wynn, babe, what are you talking about? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Who do you think I am? Like, because she's like, oh my god, it's so nice to see you. I need this thing to, can you solve this problem? I'm like, yeah, do you want to go do it together? And she's like, no, I don't have time. I'm like, when?
What? We saved the world together.
The world? And is that it? Are you literally talking for you to 2 minutes and then you're too busy? What are you, a fucking random, what are you, a chantry board? Give me something, babe.
I know. That's really funny to me.
Ass. So that was upsetting.
But then you meet the architect.
Okay. All right. Just first.
Oh.
We go to Amarantine.
Yes.
We see all of that. A whole new big city. It's very fun.
Yep.
A lot of shit going on. There's so you meet the noble people, houses of this earldom that you're now in charge of. One woman is hyper rich And she's like, the noble houses have to be protected because that's where all the money is. And then there is another nobleman who's like in charge of a lot of farmland, who's like, well, the farm people need to be protected because that's farmland and we need people there. But then she's like, hey, he's just fucking bad at protecting his own lands. Like he's just using you for his own benefit. That's not that's not an actual plea for help. Like, we actually need help. I did the bitch answer where I was like, just help everyone. And it's like, why did you give me that answer? Like, why would it's like only help these people, or help everyone. I'm like, well, help everyone then. If you can, do it. Spread yourself around. Which everyone was happy with. And then you find out, someone tells you, hey, some of the noble houses don't like you being in this position and are going to assassinate you. Which is very fun. So then you have a few choices. You can get the soldiers to spy on people. You can try and figure it out yourself, or get a noble house to try to figure it out. Or you can get someone called the Black Wolf, who is a criminal leader in Arantine. And you can have him go and figure it out. But he costs 40 gold. However,
you're so rich in this game.
You're so rich. I had 40 gold. I had 50 gold, roundabouts. And then he was like, hey, do you have 40 gold? I was like, I need 80 gold to fix up the walls of my keep. Can you give me 20 minutes? I went out, did a bunch of missions. I got the 80 gold. I paid off the dwarf. And then I got an additional 40 gold. And then I went to him and I was like, hi, sorry it took me so long. And he's like, yeah, cool. It's 50 gold now because you've taken like 5 days to get back to me. And I was like, fine, 50 gold, whatever. Pay that. Help me out. And then he does. And then he comes and he's like, hey, it's all of these people. They all meet in this location. And it's a bunch of people who I was fully having conversations with. And actually, I only realized that it was people who I've previously had conversations with because one of them was called Guy, and I thought that was funny. Yeah. Because I didn't realize he was a noble. Because I thought it was just this guy.
This guy.
Like, yeah.
How are you named Guy and a noble in the world of Theatis? Wild.
This is my noble called Dude. Anyway, so I found that. I killed them.
Yeah.
I went whilst with Velana. You figure out that Darkspawn tricked her into, as we said before, thinking that humans attacked their camp. And then she's like, oh shit, okay, there is a mine shaft, which I'm pretty sure Darkspawn are in over there. Let's go investigate. You go investigate, and then you meet the architect, and you immediately, he casts a spooky spell on you, and then you pass out. You also meet her sister, as well as a woman named Ultha.
Oh, yeah.
Who are not Darkspawn, but also aren't fully people really anymore. They're a little ghoulish and spooky.
Yeah, I think they have the taint. I think they have
I think
blight,
so.
But they are not Darkspawn.
They're like almost like not like sentient creatures anymore.
Yes.
But they still have some, ability to understand what's going on. It's just reduced super hard. They can't like talk, but they can act and understand like situations in a way. Like I think, oh no, I'm an idiot. I'm wrong, because Velana's sister breaks you out and is just like kind of working for the architect, but then breaks you out, and she's also kind of like tainted and rotting a little, but she just kind of fully understands what's going on and is like, I don't want you to be in here, so I'm breaking you out. Very fun dungeon that, because you start it with none of your gear, and then you fight boss fights who drop your gear. So you're kind of fighting against like your own
shit
loadouts.
Yeah.
There was this one wizard, and I was like, how the fuck is this guy so strong? This guy is like, he's doing like crazy shit. And then I realized it's because he's wearing all of my things.
Yeah, he's wearing the toughest armor in the game, because you have like now these like level 9
literally
tiered armor
actually,
and stuff.
I didn't change from my Origins gear. I was too attached to it.
I like that, actually.
I did end up changing, but I didn't immediately.
Not till
it took
later.
me a little while.
Yeah.
So
I changed pretty much right away.
When it comes to the noble, I'm so sorry. I'm speaking so fast and I'm running over stuff.
No, you're doing great.
So much
There's
to
so
fucking
much.
cover in this. Again, this is like a full game. It's just like you just don't have the pacing of Origins. Everything is like every mission you reveal like so much shit that it's crazy to So the noble houses and picking the nobles. Like what did you do there?
Oh God,
Because you're the warden commander still, right?
I'm still the warden commander. I'm being brought in as the new warden commander. Because there is no one, because the warden
Alistair
died.
Is king and,
Alistair is king, apparently. So
Stupid.
you're just
That's
some random guy.
That's a crazy oversight for me. Because I would just think that they would just be like, okay, you just play Alistair. Oh, no, I mean, I guess they can't do that, but it's like, Alistair is still with you in some capacity.
Yeah.
Or, like, he's training someone else and he's the commander, and he's like, I don't have time for this, I defer to you on all matters, commandery.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So... Oh, God, remind me what the choice is, because I remember I upgraded the Vigil's Keep.
I did do that.
Okay.
I did that, but later. So this is, you can choose in noble houses. I didn't have 80 gold at the time. The first noble meeting, you can pick to side with the nobles, side with the farmers, or you can do a little bit of both.
Right. No. I immediately sided with the nobles.
Fascinating.
Again, this is not Valeria. This is, like this new guy who's super out of touch. And also, like, in my mind, he's also from Orlais, and he's just, like, gonna... And, like, Orlais is painted as this, like, just, like, place of wealth and... and stuff. Like... Ferelden is farmland. Orlais is a big city.
Yeah.
That's the logic there. So he sided with the nobles. And yeah.
And then with the spies, did you do anything there with them?
The spies. That was pretty cool. That's are the spies the smugglers?
Ooh,
or is that different?
The spies are the people who are going to try and assassinate you. And which angle did you go for? Did you get the Black Wolf in? Did you get the soldiers to try and spy on people? Maybe there's a thing with smugglers, but I can't remember that one.
Okay.
Or do you not have that story because you're a new person and didn't fuck everyone over?
Truth be told, I didn't write enough down, and I kind of
that's all right.
rushed this.
Yeah.
So, I was not. Yeah. Right,
you're
so
not in it. That
Yeah.
so makes sense to me. Like I also wouldn't have been. Yeah.
Okay. The spies thing, the smugglers thing is something different. That's something different. I'm just misremembering. With the spies thing, I'm pretty sure that I just let the soldiers. I made kind of the shittiest decision in
cool.
like
I like
in
that though. That's
almost
good. Yeah.
everything here. Like I was like nice to people, but I made bad big choices.
Yeah. No, fascinating. I actually love that as a character bit. Orgrin hit me up and said that he has a rash. I told him to go fucking kill himself. I hate this fucking loser. Okay. Hopping back to where we were, and I know I am really sorry that I'm jumping all around the place.
No, you're being perfect in every way.
So you are in this. You get captured by the architect. There is also so you learn that there are two warring Darkspawn factions now. there is led by someone called the Architect, and led by someone, and then the other side is led by someone called the Mother.
The Mother.
The Mother also refers to the Architect as the Father. However, I didn't know about the Architect at the time, and I thought I was the Father, and I thought that
I could see why you would think that.
Yeah, because I was like, I am the father of this archdemon, like, old god, technically now. So, is that what she's fucking talking about? Like, am I the father?
Oh
so
my god, that's fucking terrifying. Oh my god.
I know, right?
Yeah.
By the way, the Mother, I'm into it. She's kind of hot in a weird way, and I like it.
They were like, hey, remember the Broodmother and how that was the worst thing you ever saw?
And that was horrific, yeah.
It was the worst thing. Well, so they made the Mother is a sentient Broodmother who has gained intelligence and, like, has a goal to, like, breed Darkspawn that can take over the world.
Yeah, and think and fight. And
think and fight.
The First is her, like, right hand, and you come across the First a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Architect has a different goal for the Darkspawn. Because the Architect thinks that he can like hive mind the Darkspawn. Like, he thinks that he can make it so that the Darkspawn aren't controlled by the next archdemon.
Yeah.
And that, like, they can just be freed from that and be... And that, like, the Darkspawn will be able to then exist without causing a blight.
Yeah. It's awesome. And this comes... So... a few episodes ago, I said, I think it would be really cool if there was a Darkspawn companion.
Yeah.
And you poo-pooed that so hard.
I did. And I still do to this day.
I'm bringing it back.
No. Bad idea.
There are, like... So, jumping ahead, literally to the end of this expansion, you speak to the Architect, and you have a choice to side with him or try to kill him right there. And Quentin was like, I'm a fucking elven mage. I'm an elven blood mage. Everyone thinks that I'm trying to kill them at all times, and I'm trying to prove them wrong. So against Sigrun and Justice's wishes, I was like, yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's team up. You and me.
Oh my god.
So I was able to persuade both of them into not immediately killing me, because Sigrun was, of course, as angry as a dwarf can be.
Is like, how the fuck dare you?
I'm not fucking working with a Darkspawn. Are you literally insane? And Justice is it's genuinely the spirit of justice, and it's like, these things are gonna fucking kill us. Like, are you an idiot?
And so many people. I came here to this plane to prevent
to prevent this from happening, basically. But no, I teamed up. I teamed up with him in the end.
You actually did it. Oh my god!
I did it. I teamed up with him in the end.
I get it. Though. I get it.
Like,
it makes sense. Yeah.
It's again. It's now part of the thesis. It's like, well, they're thinking and they can feel. And this was after. Pulling back a bit. I'm so sorry, everyone listening.
You're perfect.
Pulling back a bit. I am gonna go back again later, because there's one area of the map where you meet Justice, which is an awesome story in the Blighted Lands or whatever the fuck it is. Because, you know what? Let's do that. Rather than doing what I was going to do, let's go back to the Blighted Lands, because I think this is the last thing.
The last, like, quest
that we
area.
Need to cover before. Yeah. So you go to this place called the Blighted Lands. It's just, it has in its description, actively very haunted.
Yes.
It's all ghosts. It's all blights. Every werewolf imaginable is here. There's a lot of werewolves. I very much wish that they at least brought up the fact that I saved all the werewolves. So I was a little disappointed at that, but whatever. They're blighted. I get it. By the way, one of the new mage specializations is called Battle Mage, and Quentin is a fucking arcane warrior battle mage blood mage, and it fucking rules
that's
to a ridiculous degree. All battle mages is up close auras and magic, and like sustained effects and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's super
Blood
interesting.
mage doesn't use any mana, so it doesn't matter about the sustained things. And then arcane warrior is you're up close and personal. You can wear super good armor. So my battle plan was turn on the most powerful sustains I could, blood magic, hold everyone, control people, turn blood magic off, pull out my sword and shield, and then it was a mess. It was so it really cemented the fact that he's literally the most powerful mage that can exist. He's so fucking strong.
Yeah, Quentin's pretty fucking cool.
It's like everyone who was and then sometimes I'd be like, no, I'm going to be distance. And then I would blood mage freeze everyone, storm, inferno, blizzard on all of them. And then I would concentrate on someone else because it doesn't matter who is in that circle. They are
as
dead.
long as anybody. Yeah. Yeah.
If you are being blood magically held in that circle, you will be dead before the effects wear off. And then I pulled out a sword and shield and I activated all my sustains and then I ran in. And so in Origins, I came across a problem where even though I was a fucking arcane warrior, I still died pretty consistently.
Yeah.
Literally, I didn't go down once in all of the things.
In all
like
of
everyone
Awakening?
else did, but I was fucking sword and boarding, running in and just slicing everyone down. And it was awesome. I felt like it was really like I am the fucking Warden Commander.
Yeah,
like,
you are.
You are stepping to one of the most powerful people in the realm right now. And I know that's not going to carry over to other games, but it just in the storyline of my like world state, it just feels so fucking good.
It does,
and now
yeah.
he's also a leader. I'm doing all of the positive options, like never taking anyone for granted. I'm helping everyone I can, and like talking highly of the wardens. If anyone ever wants to be a warden, they become it. If people are unsure, they don't get to do it. In my canon, he's like, okay, before you do the joining, you're gonna die in 30 years. If there's a blight, you have to be the one to deal the killing blow. Like all of this.
Yeah,
before
all the
people
stuff
start
that was
drinking
never
from the
told
cup.
to you. Yeah.
And it's like,
damn.
And he's just like this outstanding leader. However, still has that hubris in him, where when it comes to the architect, is still gonna be like, yeah, let's do it. Let's find out. Like let's find out if this is a fucking awful mistake or not.
Yeah. I killed the architect.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
I imagine Valeria wouldn't even play with the conversation.
Yes. No. No. Valeria would have killed him too.
Would have just like he would have turned up, and then she's like, sorry, bud, you're already gone.
Yeah. I tried to make a lot of decisions that would not have been Valeria's in this, but just to like make it interesting. But that one Valeria would have done.
But that's also the Grey Warden's thing. It's like
that's a Grey Warden thing, not
a Grey Warden also wouldn't want them.
That's a sentient Darkspawn. It's not happening.
Exactly.
We're not, yeah.
So you go through this blighted lands, kill a bunch of werewolves. There's this old, like, haunted keep. You're seeing a lot of ghosts of, like, just a kind of weird ghost shit happening. You end up finding the body of this guy who you've been looking for, a Grey Warden. There's also a lot of areas that you can't go in, but you see demons in the areas, and you can't walk through them. But then eventually you find a Kristoff who you're looking for, and then the First turns up, who is the mother's right-hand man, and is like, I'm gonna fucking kill you now. I'm gonna throw you into the Fade. He actually was talking, and there is an option to ask him to join your team, and I did ask him to join the Grey Wardens in this fight, and he was like, no, obviously I'm not going to do that. Do you think I'm going to join the Grey Wardens? Are you fucking high? and then
I assumed that was a joke. I assumed it was sarcastic.
It was it's a
Oh,
genuine
you want
offer.
to join the Grey?
Yeah. Oh, big man. Do you want to join the Grey Wardens, dickhead? And then he is like, no, but the mother has given me this gift, which I'm going to use on you, and I'm going to end your threat on her. And that thing, this spell, this magic essence that he does, ends up throwing both your party and his party into the Fade. And he's like, what the fuck? The mother betrayed me. She said that this wouldn't happen, and then he starts freaking out. And then again, I'm like, join me, dude. Like, let's take revenge together. Like, come with me. And then he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Runs away. You go through this thing. You're dispelling magics, killing demons, doing interesting Fade activities again. You know, you're like permanently upgrading points, which at this point, getting a +1 to cunning means nothing because I'm leveling up every day and I have 60 magic. Like, yeah,
there's so much happening. Yeah.
And then you come across this village full of spirits. And all of these spirits are like sentient, and they think, and they're like, hey, we are trapped here in the Fade. Who are you? I've not seen you here before. And you're like, coincidence? I'm also trapped here in the Fade. He's like, well, shit's going down in the town square because the Baroness has kept us here in this like torture zone. And shit's going down, so go check it out. You go there, and then there is this like holy beaconous knight who is like has rallied all the village and is like breaking down the door of this Baroness's home, and the Baroness has like demons flanking her, and she's very Morrigan coded, and like, is like Morrigan in a worse timeline, kind of is her vibe.
Or Morrigan at like the beginning of Origins kind of thing.
Openly using blood magic and like doing evil villainous shit. She is taking the souls of the people who are there in the Fade and then using it for her own wicked means. This holy knight refuses it, batters down the door. You have a fight with them. It turns out that the first has joined on the Baroness's side, also trying to get out the Fade. You have an option to join him, but I don't think it's a serious option. You might not have an option to join him. I
don't think it's a real option. I think it's like a you
like
could,
a thing which
you
could
join
say
me, you know, and then I don't think it's a real option.
You fight her. In killing her, you are thrown back into the mortal plane. And then Kristoff's body wakes up. This spirit, this like holy knight spirit of justice, turns out to be Justice, who is now inhabiting Kristoff, and we've already talked about that story. And he's literally the best companion in all of Origins. I'm like,
he's really great.
So obsessed with him. I think he's amazing. And then you take him, and he's like, fuck, if the Baroness is here, she is like here, and she is not just. You're like, well, we better once we just beat her again. And he's like, no, it's bad. No. There's a bunch of Fade portals that have opened, which is very fun because that also happens in Inquisition. That's a big part of Inquisition is these Fade portals. You go around, you close a bunch of Fade portals. You get a whole new set of armor that Quentin did end up putting on, which I thought was very cool. It's called the Sentinel armor. It's like dark, it's like jet black and like evil. Which I thought wasn't really Quentin's vibe anymore, but I thought it was fun, so I kept it on because it was also objectively better by like 2 tiers, and every stat was like hugely increased. So I was like, I'd be stupid not to do this. And then I put Justice in Quentin's old gear, which is a fun little parallel because he was the one telling me to do positive things. He was the one who was like, you can't join the Architect, as Quentin's old selfish nature came in. As he was wearing this darker armor, and then agreed to help, and Justice wearing his old armor, the hero of the Grey Wardens, was like, "What the fuck are you doing? This is evil."
And I was like, "This is
great parallels, babe." Yeah,
that's good.
You meet the Baroness. Justice wasn't lying. She turns into the biggest demon I've seen. This like hideous, multi-jaw-toothed fucking ogre, and it's crazy looking. It's a great fight. A lot of really good fights in this expansion as well.
You can side with the Baroness.
Can you in this?
You can.
Oh, that's fun. I like that. What did you do? I can't imagine
I thought that was too evil. That was a little. That was not like fun dickish behavior. That was going to be pure evil behavior. So I didn't. But you can side with her. But
that's really fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. Did you, after defeating her, did you do the ghost dragon fight?
No.
I did. I loved it.
Dragons are sacred. We don't fight them.
Well, this is a ghost dragon. It's already a dragon. It is a really good fight, though, because it has really interesting mechanics. There's parts. There is in the hit MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV.
Oh my God.
There is a thing called DPS checks, which is a raid boss will leave the stage, and then DPS has to be on it, and it's how quickly DPS can kill all of the ads that's appeared on the board before a giant attack goes off. And that fight has a DPS check, which I think is really fun. A bunch of these orbs appear. The dragon flies up, a bunch of these orbs appear, and they slowly start moving toward the center, and you have to kill as many of them as possible before they hit the center. The more of them that are alive, the bigger the damage is. Great time. Great fight. Had a lot of fun. Didn't really get a lot out of it, so I wasn't super stoked about killing them, but I did it for the level. And then, afterward, then you have kind of your final meeting with... did you, by the way, I'm so sorry. I love you so much.
I love you so much.
I'm so sorry. I think you are truly like, you are like the greatest person I've ever met. I love you more than anything. When I say love, like I mean it in like storybook level is how I feel about
you.
You.
It's biblical. It's
I like truly. I think I do believe that we were grown from the same grass, birthed from the same star, and I love you so deeply and truly. I am so sorry I've talked over you for the last hour and a half.
No. This is great.
So truthfully, jazzed about this expansion.
I had a very curmudgeonly experience with the expansion. So this is, and also, this is perfect because this is I had a curmudgeonly experience first of all, and then second off, the whole point of this is that you've never experienced it at all for the first time. So like that's the exciting bit. Yeah. Did you pick up any NPCs that I didn't pick up? I don't think so. So let me see. We've talked about Justice and Sigrun and Valana. How? I don't. And
then there's
know.
Anders.
Anders, obviously.
Oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. I'm lying. Those are the only companions. I thought there was a lot more available.
To my understanding, there are a lot of people that you can meet that are optional. I don't think they're all optional NPCs.
My apologies. I've been lying this whole time. Yeah, that's it. But tell you what, it's an absolute star-studded cast.
It's great.
Every single one of them is.
Everyone except Oghren is
brilliant.
Great. Yeah.
I hate Oghren. I hate him so much. I am Morrigan when she says, I hate you
because
so
she
much.
says that playfully. She loves Alistair. She would have fucked him if you two were not dating. And that's canon.
Yeah.
She loves that boy. But, you know.
Oghren is just fucking disgusting the whole time. Yeah. All he does is hit on Sigrun as well, and she is very funny whenever he speaks to her.
She's funny.
And she's like, I think you're disgusting, and I fucking hate you. She's funny. Cannot stand you.
I like her the way that I like Wynn when Wynn travels with Oghren, because Wynn in a different way.
Has good dialogue with him.
Good snapbacks with him. Wynn feigns ignorance, like when he's hitting on her, and she's like, I don't know what you mean, but I can brew a good beer. And Valana has not Valana, Myri has a lot of good quips to him. I know, rest in peace.
I like this. I like.
She's the only one that dies
That sucks. I liked her so
joining.
much. She's great because she has a decent hour and a half, 2 hours, and grows. Has a lot of character beats that you hit and learn about her and what her deal is and all this. And I think she's brilliant. I was really upset. Genuinely, I was really upset when she died. However, you then get a fucking massive decision. You arrive. You arrive at the keep, and they're like, "Hey, shit is happening in Amarantine. You have to go there right now.
Yes.
Darkspawn are appearing out of the ground and are slaughtering everyone.
You have to save the city."
So you rush there. You get to Amarantine. You fight. Do one pissy little fight. The captain of the guard of Amarantine is like, "This city is lost. It is completely fucked." And then you have something which is crazy exciting for me. You have a Darkspawn run up to you and it's like, "Hands up. I'm not here to hurt you. The Architect has a message. The Mother is moving on Vigil's Keep right now and will take it. Like, it's lost unless you go." And you have a decision. You can try to save what's left of Amarantine, or you can go back and you can try to save Vigil's Keep. It took me ages, dude, to figure out what I was going to do. What did you end up doing?
I saved Vigil's Keep.
We did different things. That's crazy.
Yeah. I am not 100% on this. I have to look it up. I think there's a way to save both. But I think it's...
I did it.
You did it? Oh, okay. Yeah. I wasn't sure. I was pretty sure, but I was like, meh.
It's kind of save both. You have to do everything the dwarf asks for to fortify the walls as strongly as possible. You have to get every ore that the gays are asking for.
That the gays
are asking for. You have to then do the entire optional dungeon, which is 2 different runs of the same dungeon, but then like different paths.
Yes.
Where you then find a dwarf blast gate, which is the perfect way to block off Darkspawn coming up from the tunnels. And then they're just tunnels, and then they're like, "We close this, and then we just blast a hole in another section, and they're done. They will literally never reach us. It will take decades for them to do that." You do those 3.
I did the first 2. I didn't do the second one. The third
interesting.
one. Interesting.
Yeah. If you do those 3, then and then pick to save at Amarantine, it does say there is like insane amounts of losses at Vigil's Keep, but the keep stands, and in the like show afterward, it's like whoever you left at the keep lives and are fine, and also the keep is like written in history as one of the greatest keeps to ever, because it withstands like a month of combat, and then eventually it says the walls itself defeat the Darkspawn because they just can't be fucking bothered to do it anymore. Like, they just can't keep winging at random shit.
Good, strong dwarven architecture, stone. That's right. Valeria is in that stone. That's my new headcanon.
That's why it lives.
As a paragon, she returned to the stone when she was buried, and she.
She fucking. You know what's fun? I was thinking if when I started this run, because I said I wasn't going back to the Wardens, if I had to be someone else, because it's like, well, you picked that you won't go back to the Wardens, I was gonna be Valeria. That's who my Warden was gonna be. I was gonna have this dwarven noble coming in, and because I imagine she would have just done that anyway. Like, if she was alive at the same time as Quentin, maybe she didn't get conscripted at the same time as him, but she would have fought like on Ozzamar's side and then would have joined. Maybe joined after Nathaniel.
She would have fought her way out of the deep roads just fine.
That's it, exactly. Yeah. She would have been banished and then would have just fucking done it anyway.
Yeah.
And then would have gotten back and is like, "What the fuck do you mean Lord Harrowmont is the is the new king. Are you fucking stupid? Who was the warden? I'm gonna kick the shit out of them.
Yeah.
And then search for Quentin.
You.
Yeah, and then joined the Grey Wardens exclusively to be like, where the fuck is this dude? I need a word.
Where the fuck is the hero of Ferelden? Like, I just wanna talk.
So if I couldn't have put Quentin, I knew I would have made her in the game.
Yeah.
Because I imagine in my run she is the fucking she just became a Grey Warden and is like one of the big boys. So picked Adamantine. I saved everyone. I felt so fucking another bit. The mother has created a new type of Darkspawn.
Yes.
The most disgusting little fucking grub things ever. They're tiny
Those
little
are her
grubs,
little babies.
and then later they fucking grow legs if they eat enough people, and then they grow like 1 billion fucking arms, and they are disgusting.
They're
and they're my favorite new enemy in the fucking game. There's always tens and tens of them. Every single time you fight them, there's loads and loads, and they're so fucking hideous. I think they're
horrendous.
awesome. Yeah.
They're absolutely horrendous. They should die.
And it's fun because now this is having, not only are the Darkspawn like now have warring factions, but they are like physically changing with this break of the Blight, where it's like the mother is creating these new ones and the architect is like, yeah, they're the same, but they think more and they're more like tactically
so then
minded
maybe
and can speak.
Control them. Yeah.
Yeah. So you find out. So after that, I find out where the mother is, because the Darkspawn is like, "What should we do with the Darkspawn?" I'm like, "Keep him alive. Like, let him go. He came to help us. Like, yeah, that's crazy. But if he stirs up too much trouble, it's a fucking Darkspawn. I've literally killed thousands of them."
Yeah.
Saved Adamantine. I told them to let the Darkspawn go, and the Darkspawn is like, "Right, the mother is here in this place. The architect will probably be waiting for you." And this is kind of the first time that it's like, what do you mean the architect is helping me do this? Like, why would a Darkspawn be helping me try to save the Grey Wardens? Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. You go, and then you go to this place called Dragon's Bone, and you fight through a bunch of Darkspawn.
Oh, Dragonbone, the Dragonbone Wastes.
Dragonbone Wastes.
Yeah.
This is a really cool scene, hopping back 1,000,000 years. When you first go to the dwarven city of Tal, do you remember its name? The dwarven city is called? You go to this dwarven city.
Yeah.
And you see that is the first time that you see it, like, you are walking into skirmishes already happening with two sets of Darkspawn fighting each other.
Yeah.
This is the second time you do that. There's a full war going on, and it's not like, oh, these are the good guys, these are the good Darkspawn, these are bad Darkspawn. They will, as soon as the enemy is dead, they immediately turn on you and start to fuck you up. So you're just walking in, and it's like, all right, how many can I kill before they turn around and start hitting me? Great.
Oh, I like to let them kill each other as much as possible. I stand off to the side. I let them kill each other down. I watch.
I do every single spell that takes me a little charge up time. I'm like, yeah, you good boys wait. I'm just gonna fucking cast some Tempests. I'm here doing some evil shit to you. I stand far enough away so no companions attack, and I just wait. I bide my fucking time, and I cast disgustingly strong spells. What was fighting in the keep like? What is that? Is it just like waves of enemies until you break them and then run forward? What happens?
Yeah, pretty much.
Does anything happen? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just defend the keep, and you like go kind of around almost like the same way that you did in like the beginning, except now the keep is like super.
You're on the other end and
fortified, and
that's cool. I like that. Ooh, there was a farmer revolt. That happens on both. I wasn't able to convince them. However, I did have a bunch of options being like, I fucking sent soldiers to you, but I think I kept using the persuade option, and apparently that doesn't work. They are not persuade. They like you have to pick the dialogue option, not just be like, well, my highest skill is charisma, blah, 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 because that doesn't work. And then I had to kill like fuckloads of farmers, and I was like, sucks. That's awful. That's bad. but then and it was like this wasn't all of the farmers. Most of them understood that you were fine, but you just didn't help them enough for there not to be a revolt later. I imagine there was a revolt with you.
Yeah, no, we squashed that in the beginning.
Oh God, that's crazy. This guy is evil. This guy,
he's not a good guy.
I don't like it because this guy's making the wardens look bad, and that's no fun. Like, we have just come off of a blight. You know, like there's a Grey Warden king now. You know, arguably the greatest dwarven hero was a Grey Warden, and now this fucking turnip turns up and.
But he saved Vigil's Keep. And
I guess the hero of Vigil's Keep. Yeah, that's no joke.
Yeah, and he did stop sentient Darkspawn from being a thing.
Oh yeah. You get down to the bottom before you walk into the mother's room.
Yeah.
The architect turns up, and he's like, once. So I got a call on Discord. I have a chat muted, and for some reason I still get calls from it, and it's one that is like it's
I thought it was just Kappa's cat in sunglasses that got
no,
me,
it's
because that's what just got me.
It's beautiful. That is Darren Michael Chorus right there. That's a joke that people will like over the Halloween season.
Yeah. That'll make sense real soon.
TTRPG show out.
Yeah.
The architect says that he, just like how the Grey Wardens drink Darkspawn blood to become Grey Wardens, and then get some Darkspawn type powers, the Darkspawn can drink Grey Warden blood, and that breaks them from the hive mind of the blight, and they can start to think for themselves. You question it, and he's like, yes. Some of them are angry, some of them still lash out and do evil stuff. They have free will. Are you telling me that you haven't fought humans, elves, and dwarves that have all done exactly the same thing? And you're like, I mean, yeah, dude, fair play. Like, that is true. Like, I have done that.
Yeah.
And he says that the mother was the first person that he inoculated with this thing.
Yes, that's right.
And she, unfortunately, is one of these people that went mad because of the silence of it all, or like, you know, she's no longer hearing the call of the archdemon.
The archdemon, yeah.
You have a conversation that we're gonna like dive into in a second. You then walk into regardless of what happens there, you walk into the mother's chambers, and the mother says, yeah, he did make me. He also made the archdemon that you had just fought, the dragon.
Yes.
He made that. And then he was like, I tried something and it didn't work. And then I accidentally started the blight. And yeah, it was the worst blight that anyone has ever known.
But now I'm going to try a fucking again?
But it's worked, though. His theory is working. He had a Darkspawn walk up to Amarantine, a place which he should not be stepping because there's currently a war against Darkspawn going, and that guy had his hands up and was like, I'm literally trying to help you. This is the situation. The architect wants you. Do you know what fucking else happens? He, in my closing thing, he spends the rest of his life helping people. He wears a big cloak so no one knows who he is. He wears like a hood over his head, and he fucking helps people. Like, he warns them against Darkspawn attacks. He helps them against bandits. He like fully leads traders to and from Adamantine. That proves the fact that he can do it. And it's fucking crazy to me that you are so against this. Because it proves sentience of Darkspawn in terms of they can be just people. They are just born in a really bad situation. Like, they are born in a hive mind. They break out. Some of them are going to go fucking mad after breaking out of a hive mind. And the architect says this will stop blights.
He's convinced it's going to stop blights.
It's crazy, man.
He's convinced of that.
I love it. It's crazy. And yeah. So Quentin joined and said, yeah, sure, I'll give you a hand. I'll make sure that this works for you. I will try, like, as the leader of the Grey Wardens, I won't tell people what is happening here. but I will kill the mother, and I'll let you continue on whatever research is. Because hey, there's another blight. I'm still here, baby. What's going to happen? I'll kill him again? Who cares? He's so just convinced that it's going to work.
Yeah. You have finished a blight before.
I have finished a blight, and I'm still here, baby. And I've just conscripted. Oh, you know what's fun?
What?
I genuinely accidentally, I started the final confrontation before I was ready. Sigrun was never conscripted.
Oh no!
Nathaniel and Oghren were the only two who were conscripted. I conscripted nobody else.
Really?
Yeah, and it's not positive if you don't conscript people into the Grey Ones.
It's not.
Because Sigrun she says that she has no purpose, and she just kind of just wanders and then dies.
She was part of a cult. She left that cult to try to like make her
and I just
better.
I didn't know how to conscript her. So I'm lying. It was only Oghren who got conscripted. Nathaniel Howell didn't either. He wasn't conscripted, and neither was Sigrun.
Oh my god. Yeah. Wow.
No. Sorry. Velana wasn't conscripted. Nathaniel was.
Okay.
I knew I was missing someone, and I thought it was Nathaniel. It was Velana I didn't conscript, and I also didn't conscript Sigrun.
Because Nathaniel and Oghren both asked to be conscripted like right away, like right in that.
So
first
does
little
Sigrun,
bit.
I think. Oh no, Sigrun might not.
No, because you don't find.
You
so
help
you
her,
find
and then
Sigrun
afterward
later, and then you bring. Yeah.
But Velana I also didn't conscript.
Dang.
Every time I went to do it,
and Velana's an exiled elf. So like, where the fuck does she have to go?
I think she has an interesting end where she is kind of fine. She does something. Sigrun's is objectively like, you've really fucked up.
You really
by not having her
dropped the ball
conscripted.
on her. Yeah.
Velana, I think she's all right. She just kind of wanders off back into the woods where she's lived her whole life and is like, whatever. I don't think I would have conscripted Velana anyway if she didn't. I mean, I did say, hey, join a Grey Wardens, and she was like, okay, that sounds great. Oh, she's like, I get to kill more Darkspawn? Let's do it.
Yep.
As with Sigrun. So they are best friends. But every single time I went to do it, I think I spoke to the wrong person every time, because the guy had an arrow above his head, and I was like, oh, this is going to finish the quest. But every time I did it, it opened a new noble cutscene, so eventually I just stopped. I just forgot that that's what I was doing, because I got wrapped up in another story beat.
Yep.
Anyway. Yep, Architect, I freed him, you killed him. Which is fair, of course.
Yep.
This guy who started the Sixth Blight, right?
Yes.
Started the Sixth Blight, the worst of its kind, but has also created this fraction between Darkspawn and the mother being his first. The mother can now hear. The mother can now like collect more Darkspawn, and her goal is to eventually reconnect, because she misses the calling of the archdemon. Mm-hmm. She doesn't like the silence of it. Now, of course, the Architect freeing him means that he needs Grey Warden blood, like a supply of it. However, Ultha was a Grey Warden, freely gave her blood, and I'm like, maybe the same thing's going to happen. Now, what I think is interesting is Quentin didn't do that with the dwarves and the golem situation.
Right.
Because even though the situation there was that, and I think the difference was Quentin doesn't trust dwarven nobility to keep that going. However, Grey Wardens are going to die anyway. Grey Wardens are always going to be fighting Darkspawn.
Oh my
and
god.
If they freely give themselves to it, then they freely give themselves to it. It's like, it's your choice. No one.
This is against the Darkspawn's entire, against the Warden's entire nature.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Grey Wardens want to end the Blight. if we have a chance to end the blight permanently right here, and also then give sentience to other people. It was a thing. There was literally a question in it that Quentin asked, like, he asked something like, again, it was one of those like, yeah, but Darkspawn fucking kill people all the time, and it's like, yeah, and it's like Darkspawn kill people all the time, and also you're gonna use Grey Warden blood, and he's like, you use Darkspawn blood, and also humans are evil, like elves do evil shit. It's like, it's the free will of it all that you want. And Quentin's been a guy who's been locked in a fucking tower. He was locked in an alienage, and then he was locked in a tower, and then he got freedom, and yeah, he did some bad shit, but then ultimately became the hero of Ferelden. Am I going to deny every single Darkspawn that opportunity? No. I'll let them try. It's worth it to try.
If you create... So the thing of this is to make the Darkspawn not do a blight in the Architect's vision, you have to take the Darkspawn, give them sentience, and then hope that someone teaches them and influences them not to do a blight. You're still creating a new problem that, like, the best idea would be to not create a new archdemon and raise the worst blight ever to plague humanity. A second option is to kill all the Darkspawn before, and not make them more powerful sentient life while feeding them the blood of the only people on Earth that can stop them if they get out of hand. I don't know.
However, an archdemon is made by a soul of an old god, right?
Yeah.
Where is the soul of the old god? It's in my son. As long as my kid is alive, then there won't be a new archdemon. We have years to figure this out yet.
A soul of an old god.
Sure,
it's not the only one out there.
But you know what? I birthed a child with my wife to try and stop blights permanently. This is just another thing. You can say what you will about Quentin. You cannot say he doesn't try to do the best thing.
I agree.
He is the Warden Commander who is open, who tried the hardest to change the way that shit works.
I think that Quentin's idea here makes sense for Quentin. Yes. Yeah. I think he's dead wrong, but I think that it makes sense.
Oh no, it'll never work in a million years, but it's interesting in it. So then it ends. I said earlier, I was pretty upset because I didn't want to be the Warden Commander. I wanted to look for Morrigan. My final card said, after this, no one knows where the Warden is. People say that he's trying to look for a dark-haired sorceress. And I was like, yes, that's it. It kept the fact that he's looking for Morrigan in.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sigrin lost all hope and fucking died. Nathaniel has restored his house's name. Good man. Good for him. Really genuinely happy for him.
I also got
Justice walked up to someone and said, I know what's about to happen. Laid down in the sun and died. Awesome. I love it. Justice is the best shit ever. He's the best character in this fucking game. I think he's so great. Valana walks off to somewhere. Anders is fine. Orgrin is like a hero, and I hate that because I kept him at the keep, and apparently he almost single-handedly saved the keep, and I'm like, all right, loser. If that's your thing, then that's your thing.
That also happened to me. Yeah, Orgrin is a hero.
The keep stands. Amarantine was rebuilt in 5 years, entirely rebuilt back to what it was in 5 years because of the fact that the hero of Ferelden decided to save it. There's an outpouring of love with the fact that the commander in charge, who was like, Amarantine is lost, was wrong, and he was right. And this the whole game was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I loved this expansion. It did the most interesting thing that this game has done to me. I think it was fucking awesome. And I genuinely am heartbroken that you couldn't have the same thing.
It's really sad.
It
sucks,
really sad. Man. It sucks.
The difference is pretty rough.
I know. That means it's not actually that good. Yeah, it's really good in a specific circumstance.
No, it's just, well, I still think there are parts of it that are really good. The lore is all still really great. Like the lore and is really interesting, and the implications about the world are still really interesting. But having an emotional attachment to it is really hard, because so much of it would doesn't matter.
It just doesn't work.
So that part sucks a little bit, but is okay. It's still a fun time. It's still good lore. There's still a lot of implications, and now you've been set up so heavily. There's so much juice in this. So the part that I think is exciting to me is that even though I didn't really have a great time with this, my foreknowledge, I know that so much of what I experienced will come back in Dragon Age 2, and it's been long enough where I think that that's going to still feel really interesting and fresh. And there's like so much, it's not just Anders. There's so much of that comes
I can imagine.
into Dragon Age 2. So I think I'm going to have a good time with that part.
I, unfortunately, am pretty sure I know who the architect is, because, again, I played a fair amount of Inquisition, and I believe I know who it is. I'm not going to say.
Do not.
I don't?
You do not.
Okay, good.
No.
Okay.
I know what you're thinking, but you do not.
They look similar.
That is intentional,
graphics,
and there is a
Okay.
connection there in that they both have similar goals and are using similar means to get there. So that is not too far off, but they are not the same.
Okay, cool. Oh, that's great then. I actually thought that I knew who that was. That's really cool. Yeah, that is to say that this is my favorite bit of Dragon Age Origins.
I love that.
And I genuinely think it's heartbreaking that it just doesn't work if you just have a different Grey Warden. To the point where, whilst I was talking, I was like, why don't you just hand wave it and just put Valeria in and make all those decisions? But then obviously that's not going to work because she's dead in canon, and then what are you going to do with it?
You can do that. You can choose to do that and just like have the experience of playing the game with Valeria.
Yeah.
But like if I had no plans to play like a full trilogy storyline, I absolutely would do that.
Yeah, of course.
But I want the experience of like a solid canon. Yeah.
Maybe it sucks now, but you are making it that now the Grey Wardens aren't as good as they were in the Sixth Blight. It's like, yeah, the Grey Wardens had a leader, and that leader was fucking amazing. And it's like, yes, I imagine that we're going to Dragon Age keep some shit because Anders is not the fucking... Do any of the decisions that you make in Awakening carry over?
Correct, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a shame. So we will have to keep working then. Because otherwise it doesn't make any sense, because fucking Alistair is king and shit in that Awakening playthrough.
I think it's gonna work out. We're gonna figure it out.
Okay.
I'll do some Googling.
But that is to say, in 2 and Inquisition, your world still exists of there was this great dwarven hero who is now a paragon, but then the person who took over just didn't really do a good job. Just didn't do the damn thing. Kind of sucked. Which
is super in line. When we start Origins, there's the whole thing is that in between blights, no one takes the Wardens seriously. And so the Wardens have a hard time keeping up numbers in between blights. And then a blight happens, and it's a scramble.
It's like, there's fucking 5 people that can do this.
Yeah. And it is just like this emergency every time, because in between it's like, why do we want to give these people so much power when there's no Darkspawn around? You know, and it's very reasonable. And then you've got this dickwad who didn't even have to fight the Darkspawn, just being
just denying what the idea of the Grey Wardens is, which is helping everyone, and the people instead chose to do a very Orlesian thing of helping nobles and really not doing a good job and all this shit.
Yeah.
So that is interesting in its own
way. It is. I think it's going to be fun in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, but now it sucks.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Last week,
yes,
we said, do we want to have like a separate special little episode where we rank things and talk about shit as a wrap up of Origins fully?
Yes.
Do we still want to be doing that?
Yes, we do.
Nice. Okay.
Yes.
Well then, I have...
Not tonight.
No.
No.
Do you want to do that next week then? Or do you want to do that next week? Or do you want
I want to... Let's brainstorm it off.
Brainstorm it off.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, the reason why I bring it up is because the next thing everyone's going to hear, like next week, essentially, are we Dragon Age 2ing?
We're Dragon Age 2ing. Next week is Dragon Age 2, the intro.
Just the intro of Dragon Age 2.
It's the prequel.
But
we're going back in time. In time. So Dragon Age 2 is going to pick up midway through the Blight. It's in that, you remember, we went to Denerim, we went to Lothering, we went to all these places that fell to the Darkspawn.
Yeah.
We are going to be playing some refugees who are running from the parts of Ferelden that fell to the Darkspawn in the beginning of the Blight. And we're going to be running away, trying to escape Ferelden and stay as far away from the Darkspawn invasion as possible.
Awesome.
And that's who we will be playing. So we will be back a few years midway through the Blight. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy, actually.
Yep.
So next week, we are playing the intro. When would you say the intro ends? Is it when you step foot inside of Kirkwall, or...?
Yes, it has a very... So this game, in a nice, lovely way, is set up into acts and is...
Oh, is it literally state Act 1, 2, 3?
Very clearly will tell you when you are starting each part. So,
oh, great. Yeah. Okay, sure. Mm-hmm. Fascinating. So we'll be playing the intro of Dragon Age 2 next week. I'm like... obsessively juiced. I'm pretty sad to be leaving Quentin.
I know.
But
he's still out there.
Really fucking loved his his whole
I loved him.
Even coming to the end and him making so we talked about this briefly off camera about the decision to have Morrigan in, because I didn't mention this. I said that, he had the baby with Morrigan. But off camera I said I like the fact that he had this. He spent the whole story trying to get over this selfish streak of his and do selfless things. But then when it came to Morrigan, selfishness took over him again. And then he was like, fuck it. I don't need the nobility. The nobleness, the noble death and the sacrifice, and I don't need people to believe in me. I need to have the person that I love for this night. That's what I need. And I need to live as well, which is, again, a selfish choice.
Yeah.
Ultimately, kind of. And then in Awakening, 6 months later, as a truly good man, he again falls to hubris. At the very last moment, the curiosity of but are Darkspawn evil though? Maybe there is
Blood mages aren't all evil, even though
Blood mages aren't all evil, even though 99 out of 100 blood mages are evil. I am the one.
I am the one. So maybe this guy
is fine.
Is
and
the one
there's Darkspawn. I'm standing around Darkspawn and they're not hitting me. There's a guy, going back to the Architect, there is a Qun who you meet who trades with Darkspawn. And they trade with gold and commerce and stuff like that. Another fascinating thing to me that proves my theory, that proves the thesis of this is just a random guy. Yeah, of course people are going to keep me alive. I'm the most powerful Grey Warden that's ever existed. But they're just keeping this guy alive. This random shopkeep who has they captured him and now he willingly comes back and does it. And it's maybe this is possible. Anyway. So I really liked the ending. This is my favorite part of the game that we've played so far. Yes, it's technically not Origins because it's a it's a sequel expansion. Justice is my favorite by leagues.
Yeah.
I loved every companion in this, except for Orgrin. Unlike Origins, where
you had a lot of hit or misses in
I had
Origins,
a lot of hit or misses, but in this, the only miss was Orgrin. Every single person I met,
I feel that way about the whole thing.
With.
I like every companion in Origins and Awakening except Ogren. I like them all.
Hate him. So excited to have him. Does he ever appear again? Can't tell me.
Let's say I won't tell you because
you can't
for some reason can't remember.
I hope I literally never see him again. I truly I despise the character. Oh my god. On my cue cards at the end, Organ is a hero. His new wife and baby come visit him, and he is bad to them, so they just leave him. Like he never sees his wife and kid again, and then it's like if he cares about it, he never shows it. And I'm like, this guy fucking sucks. Like sucks. There's no redeeming quality. Like
we made him a Grey Warden. That's the one redeeming thing you can do to anybody, and he still sucked.
And he's failing. He's failing He's failing taking the black in Game of Thrones. Like he's failing starting new. I hate him.
He just sucks.
Anyway, that's it. My review of Origins as a whole is genuinely 8 out of 10. I think 8 out of 10. I think it's a fucking amazing game.
Yeah. I agree.
I'm trying to get people into it. Like I've bought this game for people, and I've like sent them it whilst we've been making this podcast to be like, play this, please. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
I just love it. Man.
I agree.
Love
it's so good.
It's such a good game.
You know, we're gonna be saying this for the last time.
Is there no Andraste message? Is it just our Grey Wardens?
Oh well, so I did actually want to say that there is something in the canticle of your edition that I think is interesting. I was gonna bring it up earlier, but in the canticle of your edition, it says that the first of the Maker's children watched across the veil, and they got jealous of the life they couldn't feel or touch.
Wow.
In blackest envy were demons born. And that is supposed to be the fantasy Catholicism's excuse for why demons were created. But I thought it was interesting because that is kind of this whole thing of like the Darkspawn like looking across the veil of life and trying to become a part of it.
And I will not deny them that.
And you won't. Yeah, you
I won't deny them that.
I did. I said, absolutely not.
Do you know what I'm excited for?
What?
It's a bit of a spoiler for the audience. We know what we're doing after we finish all the Dragon Ages.
Yeah.
This conversation of me wanting a Darkspawn companion comes up in a very interesting way in our next little project after this that I'm excited to.
Yes.
I'm excited to reopen this conversation later.
Yeah, I feel like this conversation is not dead. This conversation is coming back a lot, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very different, but it kind of circles the same waters. Anyway, Grey Wardens.
For the last time.
For the last time. Remember, in war victory, in peace, vigilance, and in death, sacrifice. Which is the whole thing. Thank you very much for listening to us talk about Dragon Age Origins. Next week, we're going to be talking about Dragon Age 2. I genuinely love this game. It's outstanding, and I'm so stoked to I'm so stoked to say that about the series when I finish all of it. Because tell you what, for the Awakening's flaws, it's got me stoked about the world of Thedas.
Yes.
More than Origins did in general.
I agree.
The world of Thedas is so exciting because of Awakening. And you're going to meet our Hawks, which is crazy.
I'm so jazzed.
Yeah. Good night, beautiful souls.
Bye.
Bye.